Hello there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday to you all. I am so excited about this afternoon and the ladies who are gathering. I'm going to give us a moment to have more folks come on in, but welcome. I am super excited. This is the closing ceremony for the latest cohort of Pillar Mastery. If you are just joining us, make sure you say hello so I know that you can hear me loud and clear before we dive into all the things. How are you guys feeling today? I'm here. Hey there. How are you feeling today? Tell me where you're checking in from. Where are you checking in from on this beautiful Sunday? It is nice here in Atlanta. Thank goodness. I just got back from a beautiful cruise and I was really lamenting coming back to Atlanta because, our weather is a little sketchy, but came back and it's beautiful. Hey there. Someone said, hey, coach, you looking beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate it. Checking in from North Carolina. Hey, Jason, what's up? Good to see you. Checking in from Cali. It's been a long time. Jason, I hope you're well. Lake Charles is in the house. ATL is in the house. North Carolina's in the house. Welcome, welcome. All right, so I promised that I just wanted to just take an hour of your time. We may get done a little earlier than that, but just take some time to celebrate the women who have come through this cohort of Pillar Mastery. This is so incredibly special to me for many of you who have known me for some time. Let me tell you what Pillar Mastery is actually about and where it came from. Because at the beginning of the year, January 1st, 2023, I had no idea that Pillar Mastery would even be a thing. Not at all. But I did know that after 6 years, this year made 6 years of hosting the Redefining Wealth podcast and talking about the 6 pillars of wealth. So I have been known in media in particular for over 10 years now. Well over 10 years now as a financial expert. Many of you met me as America's Money Maven. You may have seen me on the Steve Harvey talk show or heard me on the Steve Harvey radio show back in the day, or saw me on Dr. Oz or in Essence Magazine or Black Enterprise or Cosmopolitan or wherever you may have found me. But the reality is, I always felt like there was so much more to just talking about wealth from the perspective of budgets and credit reports. The reality is that is a piece, the skill set is a piece, but mindset is so important when we're looking at how we're going to not just improve our finances, but I really believe that when we're not fully operating in our purpose, it also really impacts how we deal with our finances. And my heart is to see us walk in our purpose. My heart is to see people live, breathe, walk, talk, do everything from a place of purpose, because I believe that we were born with purpose, on purpose, for such a time as this. If you believe that you were born on purpose, with purpose, for purpose, let me see it in the chat. Say, I was born on purpose. Just let me know if I'm in the right place. I was born on purpose. I need to see one person. And shout out to you from Charleston. I'm actually coming there soon. Next week, actually. Minneapolis is in the house. Jamaica's in the house. Say hello, hello. If you believe you were born with purpose, on purpose, for purpose. Okay, I see one person. One person. Alexis says I was born on purpose. Yes, yes. We were born with purpose, on purpose, for purpose. And I believe that one of the things that keeps us from fully doing well in our finances, that is a reason that a lot of us will end up mismanaging finances. I'm not saying for people who just don't have it. I'm saying for those of you who have access to it and you're not managing it well. Sometimes the reason that we are not operating fully in the highest capacity of how we can manage our finances is because we're not operating in our purpose. So when we lack purpose, I believe it creates such a void. And many of us try to fill the void by buying things or people. And when we are constantly trying to buy things or people, what happens? We mismanage the finances we already have access to. So I believe that there is such a connection between purpose and our ability to manage our personal finances at the level that we would like to. And so at Redefining Wealth, our mantra has been chase purpose, not money. Not because I don't think you need money, but because I believe that the more fulfilled you are and the more purposeful you feel, the easier it becomes to do the things that you need to do to follow the skill set stuff that you've already learned in your financial life. And so pillar mastery is really rooted in us going through the 6 pillars of wealth that we talk about on the Redefining Wealth podcast. So if you're brand new and this is your first time here, here's what you need to know about Redefining Wealth. We are a community of purpose chasers from all over the globe who believe that wealth is so much more than just money and material possessions. We believe in the original 12th century definition of wealth, which says it's about the condition of well-being. And I believe that the more well you become in these 6 pillars of wealth, the more you have the capacity to not only manage your finances well, but also to just process your life from a place of peace and courage and make choices with conviction and stop choosing things just out of fear or because you're on autopilot. My true heart in this season of my life is to get more of us, especially women, to not live from autopilot, but live from authenticity. And I believe the way that we come into that is when we start to clear the clutter and what we call the 6 pillars of wealth. And so the women that you're going to hear from today, and what we'll be talking about is just the journey with going through those pillars and clearing out some of the clutter and the junk that has kept many of us stuck. All right. So I am so excited. And again, welcome to you, to all the ladies who are completing this cohort of Pillar Mastery. I want to say to you, congratulations. You did it. You did it. You did it. We celebrate, the team and I celebrate the circle of support that we witnessed you have for one another. It is not easy to come into a space and be so vulnerable and so transparent with the things in your life that just don't reflect how you want to be seen in the world, right? Like how you want to present yourself in the world. It is not easy to come into a space with strangers from all over the world, not just all over the country, and share where you felt like you weren't quite a 10 in each one of these pillars. And I say that because, first of all, I don't feel like a 10 in all of the pillars. This is work. Transformation takes time, right? We were here together for 12 weeks, but the reality is transformation takes time. And you guys did the hard work, though, to really allow yourselves to authentically go through this process, and start to clear clutter and take bold, radical action, get radically honest, and overcome a lot of obstacles together. And I'm just so incredibly proud of the work that you have done, right? You made yourself at home. And I'm so grateful that you felt so comfortable and at home to say things that maybe you didn't feel comfortable saying to the people in your life, to the friends and family that normally support you. And again, I just think I think it takes so much courage and commitment to do this type of work, to embrace authenticity and to do the work to truly attract your heart's desire and start to redefine wealth from the inside out. And so I just truly want to honor you and thank you. I see Alma says, yes, we did it. Let's see. Yeah, Alexis, yes, that was the stretching part, bearing it all. It takes a lot. It really does. But I'm glad that you felt safe. One of the big things that we talk about in my community, no matter what program you've been in, is this is not just, I don't consider this just a safe space. I consider it a brave space. And I don't think it's enough to be around people who are just like-minded. Like-mindedness is what keeps us stuck. I believe that when we are only in a place where everyone is like-minded, it doesn't challenge our perspective. It doesn't make us stretch. It doesn't make us grow. It doesn't support us in our evolution. I think the true work is in being around people who are like-hearted, right? So they want to win, but they also want to see you win, right? And they can create a space and a container where you feel comfortable being vulnerable, where you feel comfortable telling the truth, finally, because one thing that we have learned during our time together is true power comes from giving voice, right, to truth, not just to yourself, but to others. And this work and what you have done is about, yes, you've gone through the modules and you read the things and you've done the action guides, but essentially you had to have some radically honest conversations with yourself first Many of you use the community and the integration rooms and our time together during my sessions with you to finally give voice to us in this space. But then you allowed yourselves to take it outside of this container and have some really brave conversations out with others. And that is the part that I truly, truly, truly applaud you for, because I know it's not easy. But I always say, if you can't practice with us in here, how do you do it out there? Right? How are you able to give voice to your truth, to say what's real for you, and to express your needs, wants, and desires in a way that honors you, but also honors others. But you allowed yourself to feel at home so that you could do that, and I want to honor you for it. You did the work. Your attitude and support of one another truly made the difference. It's just such a blessing to me every single time to be able to see you guys come together, support one another. One thing that I always say about any community or any program that I host in this community is, you are not here to be friends with Patrice Washington, right? You are not here, although I love everybody dearly, but you are not here for that. You are here to find not only yourself, but to lock arms with other women who could support you in real time. And the way that I watch people show up and pray for one another, the way that the ambassadors shared how you guys just truly rallied around each other and supported each other when someone was having a difficult moment, really does my heart good, because that's all I want. It's impossible for me personally to be able to touch every single person and know everything intimately, but for you guys to really lock arms together and support one another. I pray that you take these relationships that were built in this session of Pillar Mastery into your life, right? I pray that you take it into your life. I pray that these are the same people that when you need some prayer, you can go back to and say, I know my Pillar Mastery sister has my back, right? That you can say, I know that there's someone else out there. There's a few other people out there who speak the language that I speak. Because remember, that's important. It's the language and the tools and the resources that you've kind of amassed here, that you still stay in community with people who can mirror that back to you when you have those moments. Because we're all going to have moments, because life be lifing, right? And so we're going to have those moments where we want to fall back into our old routines, our own patterns, our old habits. But to know that you have a sisterhood, that has been the greatest joy for me over the last several years in coaching women in particular, is seeing how you guys continue on. So don't let the attitude and sisterhood or the attitude and support and sisterhood leave after today. Allow that to continue to be a part of your experience forever, because I truly hope that you have these sisters forever. So let's celebrate your success. You deserve this. Is your success. This transformation should be heard far and wide. But for now, we're just gonna start close to home with just those of us who are in this space. And I wanted to invite a few of you up to just share your experience in Pillar Mastery, but also to leave some words of encouragement for your sisters. You guys will have access to this replay. So every once in a while, you may need to come back to it. So we invited a couple of your fellow Pillar Mastery sisters up here to share whatever's on their heart with you, honestly, and to leave you with some words of encouragement. So I'm going to start with, first up, Miss Wanda.
Hi.
Hey, Miss Wanda, how are you?
I'm great.
I'm so excited that you are here.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Wanda, this was not your first time in Pillar Mastery.
No, it was not.
This was your second time.
My second time. Second time's a charm.
Second time's a charm. Okay. What made you come back a second time?
Well, the first time, I thought I was ready. I had been through some things, and I had experienced, I'd shared with the group before that it's been 15 years since I last preached in the church. And I had sincerely asked God to send me, and he did. I thought I was where he wanted me to be, and I was. I thought he had called me, and he had. But things ended abruptly. and badly. And I didn't see it coming. And it devastated me. But to be honest, in some ways, I was a little bit relieved, but I was still stuck. And I couldn't understand why I couldn't get moving. And then it was just revealed to me that it was because of the contradiction of what I thought it should be, as opposed to what the reality was. And the fact of the matter was, the church was never, ever supposed to be my safe space. It wasn't supposed to be my oasis. It was always going to be the place where I was going to learn, to grow, to mature spiritually by any means. And I did a lot of things to help myself, try to help myself get unstuck on my way to that revelation. And the first time I did do pillar mastery, I wanted to participate, but I just wasn't ready. But I still needed to be in the room with women who were. And the second time I did it, I told myself, if I do this again, I'm going to push myself to be open and vulnerable. I'm going to push myself. And I had to, because that it just wasn't my thing. But I knew that's what God was calling me to in this season of my life. And you would think that the faith pillar would have been the pillar that I'd be working on. But it was actually the space pillar that broke everything open for me. I would come into my office, and I would love my office. It has inspirational quotes on the walls, it has scriptures on the walls, and it was just a representation of my heart. But then my eyes would go to these two big bins full of hidden clutter, hidden mail and papers that for whatever reason I could not bring myself to address. And I knew that when we got to the space pillar, I was going to have to do that. And I did. I shredded everything. And something broke open in me when I did that. Something was released inside of me when I did that, when I addressed what I thought I couldn't. And I knew then I could attack the other pillars with confidence and with grace. And with the help of Patrice and the encouragement of my sisters, I did release it. And God told me when I was trying to prepare what I was going to say today, He said, you know, those two bins of hidden clutter that contradicted your walls? He said that was just a representation of the hidden clutter in your heart that was contradicting your call. You've got to release it, and you've got to release it all. And I did. And now I'm free. I'm free to serve. And to God be the glory.
Woo! Miss Wanda, so good. Oh my gosh. You got to tell us that line one more time about the hidden clutter. We need that one more time. Brittany, was that good? Alexa, oh my gosh. We need it one more time.
He told me, he said, that hidden clutter that was contradicting your walls was just a representation of the hidden clutter in your heart that was contradicting your call. And to serve me, you have got to release it all.
That's so powerful. That is so powerful. And I'm so glad that you shared what pillar was the one that did it for you, Miss Wanda, because as I share every time, people come in and they think that it's money and work.
Right.
And by the time we got to money and work, especially with you, there were so many things with the work pillar that were already being unlocked because you dealt with the clutter in the space pillar.
Mm-hmm.
And we typically want to go to the end and like, okay, God, but just bring me the money. It's like you have work to do and some of the other things. And for you to get that revelation is just incredible.
Yes.
How do you see that connecting to you answering the call and following that through? So how do you believe that this breakthrough in the space pillar is going to support you in the work pillar?
Well, for one thing, God's been pushing me. This group has helped me to be more authentic and to be more open. As I stated before, I preached before, but there was always a piece missing, and that was me, the real me. And I never could really share me. I always had a mask. And this group has helped me to pull that mask off. And it's also helped me to address things that I was otherwise scared to address. And one of the things that God's put on my heart to do is to help others fulfill their purpose and give them that strength and that boldness to do that. And this group has done that for me. And addressing the hard things has done that for me. So I think everything else, the work, the money, everything else is going to fall into place. It's that part of it, the authenticity and the openness, that was the part I needed to work on. That was the thing. Everything else I can study, I can put together a lesson, I could do all those things. But I needed to share me and my journey so I can encourage somebody else on theirs.
And you have been such the encouragement. We tell you all the time in Pillar Mastery, this cohort, first cohort, you're right. I didn't really get to know your voice, but every time you spoke in this cohort, you spoke with such authority and power and conviction. And you have been such a blessing through this entire 12 weeks. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your breakthrough. And we didn't even share, though, also Fifth Pillar from the first cohort, even though you didn't speak up. What was your Fifth Pillar win from that cohort?
I lost 50 pounds. I'm 50 pounds lighter.
Yes,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
so proud of you. And I'm so excited to see how you support others and truly walking in their purpose. Because when you speak, the atmosphere shifts every single time. And I'm so excited that you dealing with all the physical clutter, right? And getting that out the way has now freed you to go do what you've always been called to do in the way that you've been called to do it. So yeah. I'm super excited for you. Thank you for being here, Miss Wanda.
Thank you, Patrice.
All right. Don't you love Miss Wanda? She's such a vibe. Miss Wanda's so cute. We love her. And every time she opens her mouth, like wisdom just drops, nuggets drop. So I know that you guys wanted to get those words. I didn't have a pen right here to write it down. You may have to come back to this replay. I'll leave it up on YouTube for a little bit, but go back and get those words. Because I assure you, some of you are dealing with clutter in the space pillar and you think that it's about money, you think that it's about work, but you may not even be free to be as creative or thoughtful or have the conviction that you need to have to go about what you've been called to do authentically because of clutter. It's just blocking the energy. And a lot of it is us taking things from one season into the next and not realizing that we have a lot of stuff that represents old versions of us that we need to get rid of. It represents old stories, old limiting beliefs. It represents past scarcity. We say we want to walk in abundance, right? And we want to walk in overflow, but we're holding on to mail from 10 years ago about someone threatening to sue you. If you don't need that anymore, let go, right? There's all these things that we do and we don't even realize that we're dragging it from one season into the next. And some things just have to go. And I saw someone who was in Facebook. It didn't say what your name was, but you said you haven't become acquainted with the shredder yet. Baby, you better get acquainted with that shredder or take it to your local office store and just get things shredded. You want to get rid of any of that physical clutter because it represents chaos in your mind, probably in that area of your life. And you want to just do away with it once and for all so you can move on, especially going into a new year, right? So thank you to Miss Wanda for her story. Next up, I would like to invite Miss Shirley to the stage. Hi, Shirley.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am wonderful, sitting in the sunshine in Richmond, Virginia today and loving every bit of it.
I love it. Okay, so Miss Shirley, before you share your full, what your transformation was, what brought you to Pillar Mastery?
Well, I remember seeing you on Opportunity Knocks and you walking through coaching the couple in Louisiana. And I thought, I want what that lady has. You were so confident in how you were helping this couple really pull back the layers of what was holding them back, because they were such people of faith. They knew that they'd had so many troubles and struggles, and yet they were always committed, and they just kept stumbling over themselves. And I thought, when I saw you, I was like, I have to meet her. I have to be involved. And I thought, okay, where do I find that path to meet Patrice? And so when it led me to the pillars, I was like, I have to go through this, because if it made the same kind of transformation in you and the people that you coached on Opportunity Knocks, I thought if I could just get a little taste of that, I thought my life would be just that much better. But oh my goodness, 12 weeks later, and I'm like, I am so full of joy today.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Every week just got better and better, because you don't know what you don't know. And I've always been a follower of watching, what other people do to get to success. And then you try to do that and you're like, why isn't this working? And it's because it worked for them, but they didn't really give you the space to be vulnerable and to really get back to your authentic self. Nobody would ever say, be authentic, have your true voice out there. And when I heard those words, I still keep them here in my Bible: speak my truth and take my voice back, because neither one of those is egotistical. It's something that God has given us. He wants us to speak his truth, and his truth is my truth. So really seeing that in my breakthrough, I feel like every pillar, there's been a breakthrough. And again, it was like, I didn't know how to really see that vulnerability in myself. And so I just, what prompted me is seeing that. But then, like I said, peeling back those layers, I was feeling lost. I felt like, what was my purpose? Every time I would try to see something, a door I felt was getting slammed, anxiety and fear, and just so much that not being heard. It just has all really come back to a position of pretty much starting over. And these 6 pillars have really allowed me to do that.
I love that. I love that. One thing that I can say about you, Miss Shirley, is I just value how seriously, how you seriously looked at every training, went through the action guides, did the work, because you really did. I think every time we talk, have you absolutely, excuse me, I'm so tongue tied today. You absolutely had something valuable to share, but your own breakthrough in each and every pillar from the very beginning, from the time we started with the fit pillar. And then to just see how it built upon, each pillar week after week after week. I'm going to take myself off the screen. I want you to share, Shirley, whatever is on your heart, whatever you want to share in terms of what breakthroughs mean the most to you, but then also just words of encouragement for your fellow Pillar Mastery sisters as you guys head out.
I love that. As I was mentioning, each of these pillars has had a significant breakthrough for me. And sometimes you don't even realize where that starts. Even starting in the fit pillar, for me, it was an emotional and mental fitness that I had to address. I didn't even know I had the illnesses I did. And fighting over those fears and anxieties has just opened up so much potential of moving my purpose in different ways. Having the bravery to go in and find out if I was going to be susceptible to Alzheimer's or susceptible to cardiac issues, and knowing and finally having that piece of knowing what that looks like has allowed me to move my future forward. The people in space went together. There were so many people cluttering my space that it was literally just a relief to go through little exercises like taking contacts out of my phone that were not adding value to my life. I felt like I was adding to theirs, but they weren't to mine. And that was a part of me that I felt like I could give to somebody else that was truly in need of it. And faith, I felt like it has been a foundational part of who I am. But again, being around a group of women that's faith was just as strong, if not stronger than my own, just helps reinforce how important having that foundation is in everything we do, and knowing that God's purpose is our purpose, and God has a purpose for each one of us. What is that saying? God doesn't make any junk. And that is so true. It's just how we take that and unlock our potential. For me, the pillar that has really made a significant difference has been work that has led into the money pillar. For me, I felt like I've always wore a facade at work. I entered the workspace back in the early 90s when women were looked at, as subservient to men, and I wore that because I needed a job. I wanted the job. I enjoyed what I did, but I never allowed my true self to shine through in all of that. And as a result of unlocking myself in these other 4 first pillars, one thing that I love, this saying from Maya Angelou, is every storm runs out of rain. And I think once we've walked through the storm and realize what it looks like on the other side with the rainbow and the sun, we have so much to give. We have so much to look forward to. And, really realizing that work is just a path for me to live my life. It's not my life. And realizing that the true, authentic part of who we are needs to reflect, what love we have to give, our vulnerability, our strengths. And at the end of the day, really understanding that peace that we get from being comfortable with ourselves. And I love it. I keep it on my desk about the chasing purpose, not money. Because again, if we really go back to what we all are embedded as Christians, it's, as we look in pursuing God's purpose for our lives, and if we really operate in a wise financial stewardship, money's going to be attracted. And so, this whole realm of what we've all gone through has really allowed me to see that the path and the avenues I've chosen, I have an opportunity to not just start over, but start along a different path to take, because everything I feel in our lives, good and bad, is a way for us to learn and build on that. And for me going forward, I think something I'm going to keep in the forefront of my mind is the gratitude and contentment of looking forward to what I have. Because as I read, perception is a key component to gratitude, and gratitude is a key component to joy. And I have so much joy today.
I love it. I love it. I love, just even as you were speaking, thinking about just the different milestones you kind of hit, every other week with each pillar, as you came back and shared how you were owning those things. And I think that the thing that I'm most proud of for your, experience here is that you were definitely someone who didn't just know, but you owned, right? So a lot of times we come into the awareness of something, and then we still don't necessarily get the guts to follow through with it. And every week, I think everyone who's in this cohort, you can chime in the comments if you agree with me. I feel like every other week you were like, yeah, and then I did the thing. So I didn't just recognize that something needed to be done. I also got the guts and the courage and the conviction to go and do it. And you illustrated that beautifully. And I think it's no surprise that you had the experience that you had. Like I really honor you for your commitment to do the work.
Well, as I was leaving church this morning, I'll end with this. There was a sign that I don't normally look at because it's actually in the restroom. And it says, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made." It's from Psalms 139:14. And I thought, what a true testament for all of us for this 12 weeks and what the platform has done to really bolster us up, for the next steps in all of this. I'm going to be a groupie. I love this. I want to profess it to others. I want others to join this, because it really, like I said, of anything I've seen out there and been a part of, this community is the authenticity of this, and what you have developed and put in place for us to find our own path is what has made this so special.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
sharing your thoughts and your takeaways. If you can hang on as well, I'm going to introduce the next person.
Yes.
Thank you, Shirley. Oh my gosh. And shout out to Opportunity Knots and to the White family in Lake Charles, Louisiana, who Shirley was referring to. I am so proud. I've been rewatching Opportunity Knots as I started to film season 2 of that show. For those of you who haven't caught it yet, you can go to opportunityknots.net. I believe online, and you can watch the episodes there. It's been on PBS nationally. We got an award. It's back here, my Telly Award back there. And it brings me so much joy to know that so many people, really took away more than just like, again, budgets and credit reports, but also just a different way of thinking and mindset shifts and all that great stuff that Shirley was kind of referencing. So yeah, Mo, I want to send you some love. You say, I have the knowledge, but I need to get the courage now to do the work. Yes. And the courage becomes so much easier to obtain when you clear the clutter. And I would say if there's a struggle, courage wise, what we encourage at Pillar Mastery is that you just go through each one of the pillars. So if you're not familiar with them yet, go to patricewashington.com and you can click on start here and begin there. But a big thing is mindset, mindset wise, what's keeping you from doing it? Is it an old story? Is it a limiting belief? Is it an idea that if I actually do the thing, someone's going to be upset? One of the big things that we have learned in this cohort of Pillar Mastery is that when we detach from everything, we can have anything. And a lot of times we don't have the courage to follow through with things because we're attached to what we think people might say, or we're attached to this story in our mind about how things are going to, kind of unravel. We have all of these things and we don't allow ourselves to just be authentic and honest about what is true for us. And again, real power, Mo, comes from not only giving voice to your truth to you first, but then also to others, being able to articulate that out. Because all the other stuff that we do is really make up stories. We make up so many stories about what's going to happen if we just honor the thing. But you already know what it's costing you to not honor what your soul is asking you to do. You already know how painful that is. You already know how annoyed you are sometimes with yourself. You're already sick and tired of being sick and tired. So you already know what it's like to not honor. Give it a try. Give it a try to honor yourself. By having the courage to do at least one of the things that you're thinking about, right? I hope that helps. But you got to name the noise. What is the thing that's preventing you from just taking that next best step? And even name what's the worst that could happen. But also think about the worst is already happening because you're still in betrayal to yourself first. And I know what that feels like because I did it for many, 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 many years. And I just want more of us to be free of that. Right? So we could fully walk in our purpose and what we've been called to do. So next up, we have Miss Tina D. Smith. Hey, Tina.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, you big ball of energy. How are you?
I am great. Y'all see I'm outside.
I see you're outside. It looks beautiful.
I know this angle be doing it right here.
Okay, so Tina, what made you say yes to Pillar Mastery?
I've been stalking your podcast for a while. Like I remember when it was like the one where they celebrated you when you turned it like 40, and I was like, oh wow, and I was like, okay, we around the same age, and then I'm like, okay, I keep listening to this, but I need to do something, and I don't always trust the things I see on the internet. Like, yeah, they look like they friends, they look like they talk for real. You might get there and it's dry, like. You get there and the people talk and you take naps. But I was excited because I always felt like you were authentic. So being in this group, I was like, you were real and you brought real people with you. Like everybody in the group, like the authenticity that I hadn't really seen in person. I see it, I hear it, I feel it. And I'm like, oh, this real. So if anybody thought it was fake, no, this where you want to be. This the real stuff over here. They're not just smiling for the camera, even though she always look good. I don't know how she do that. But seriously, I loved it. I have issues with trying to be cheap and like just trying to do the free route. Like I'll just watch all the podcasts or I'll just listen to all the tapes and not buy anything. So I'm here because I was like, I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to do it. And the last video you did before you launched, she was like, it's just whatever the little amount is, you can do it. And I was in the comments and I was like, okay, I joined. So from that very last like YouTube live thing you did, that's when I came in.
Really?
Yeah.
That's when you stopped lurking.
Yeah.
And you're like,
It's safe sometimes. No.
Let me see. I love that. I love to hear that. You know what? Because this is why I used to always say when I was teaching purpose to platform, we have to keep showing up because the first time someone sees you, they may not think it's real, or they may not think it's genuine, or they may just need to watch you for a while. And I always just think about, I always say this, we're blessed to be a blessing, right?
Yeah.
You're blessed to be able to I feel blessed to be able to have a platform, but I also feel like it's my responsibility to preserve my peace, protect my energy, take care of myself, do all of these things, because I need to be here for the long haul so that when another Tina is ready, I'm here. That's why I never speak from like the idea of all the scarcity. Like, if you don't do it now, you're damn near it's like, relax. When you're ready, I want to be here. Now,
and when they do that, I won't join. Like once you say, oh, this is the last chance. Oh, well, I'll watch the replay for free.
I understand. I totally understand that. I feel you. Okay. So what do you feel like was your greatest takeaway from Pillar Mastery? And you can share as much or as little as you want. And then also just some words that you want to leave your sisters with.
So I'll say this. Everybody's like, okay, you funny. You need to be doing some comedy stuff. So, okay. I'm going to try not to be funny. I don't know if that works. But my main one I thought I needed to work on was a space pillar because my house is like kind of raggedy. And I was working on a space pillar trying to get pre-ready. And then we actually started. And I found out, okay, the fit pillar is the one that I really needed. That's why I'm outside. I love to be outside, but I was not going outside. I wasn't walking. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't being consistent with myself. And I found out, you know what? When I'm consistent with myself, when I walk 30 minutes a day, oh my gosh, I don't have to just walk 30 minutes. Oh, I can drink water. I'm only drinking water now. I never thought that was possible. I'm drinking water. Not only that, but I'm reading my Bible. I have 30 minutes to pray every day because I'm walking for 30 minutes. And to make it real simple, I just set a timer. I walk 15 minutes one direction and I turn around and walk 15 minutes back. And I can do that every day. And I'm so excited because being in other programs, well, watching other programs, but joining this one showed me that there is an actual plan. There is like scaffolding. Like when you build a building, something supports you. Each of these pillars supports your life. The first one, the fit pillar, you're going to stay alive. You drinking, you breathe, and you feel like a whole person, not just like somebody on a computer trying to copy somebody else. The second one, the people pillar, I never trusted people. Seriously. I trusted me and a few family members. But now being in the community, I find out people aren't just throwing out little helpful nuggets because they have it on a post-it somewhere, but because they've lived, they've endured. Like Shirley, I love Shirley. Shirley came through with some stuff and I was like, oh, let me rethink some of the things I'm doing. She was awesome. The space pillar, I did get to it. I did clean up my space. And it did not take as much time because with me being active and exercising, I'm not sleeping as soon as I come home. I will sit on the couch at like 7 o'clock and be asleep to the next day to go to work. Now I have energy. I can move. I can do it. The next one, the faith pillar. I used to always think I was doing stuff wrong. Like maybe it's the wrong church. Maybe I'm not praying the right way. Maybe I need to read a different version of the Bible. I'm not doing it wrong. I wasn't consistent. Being consistent with my fitness helped me be consistent with dealing with people, helped me be consistent with going to God. Like he want to talk to me every day. He liked me. He made me all cute and stuff. He liked me. I talk to God and I don't feel weird about it, like I'm doing it wrong. Now I'm gonna be honest, the work pillar and the money pillar, they were in there, but I've been scared of work and money ever since I was little because my parents always came home tired, upset, cranky from work. And I'm like, if you have to grow up and work and make money and money is evil, I want nothing to do with it. But I don't feel that way anymore because I understand it's an extension of me. the work I do is what I put my hands to do. Whatever I'm putting my hands to do, I like to create things. I like to talk. I do PowerPoints and I build those things. And that is me building the work that I love and that I endure and that I enjoy. Yeah, I said endure because sometimes you're working forever, but it pays off. And when it pays off, that's when that money pillar comes in. So I love all of it. And I know sometimes you leave a program, it's like, well, how can I recreate this? With this one, I don't feel like I need to recreate anything. Like all of these pillars come together. It's like a symphony. Every instrument plays a different part. In different times of your life, you have a different solo. Right now, I'm in the fitness solo. Who knows? Next year, I'll be in the faith solo. The next year, I might be in the people solo. But all of those things work together. It's a symphony. It's an orchestra. It is a unique, authentic song that is uniquely yours. So being in this, girl, you better come on for the next one. I might be there. I might be there. No.
I love that. I love that idea. It's like a symphony. And I love that you said right now I might be in my fit pillar, solo. Because that's what I always say. I don't want people to feel overwhelmed by the idea that they have to rush and do all these things. I just want you to have an awareness of where you are in each one. And then even if you can make one adjustment, one small thing can literally change everything. And I love that you said you made the connection between like you working on your fit pillar and how you use that time to also add in your faith pillar, but now you have more energy to get to the space pillar stuff. It is so connected, and you just broke that down beautifully. That symphony is a vibe. We're gonna have to go back and replay that. Yeah. I'm gonna give you credit, but we're gonna talk about that on the podcast.
I got that in one of them groups, child. In the little groups, when we in the groups and be talking, that was like the first one I got in, and we talked about it in that group. And I was like, okay, I wrote that down. That was I learned that here. The whole
you learned that? Okay, well,
yeah, I think it was Tanya. I have still Tanya stuff and like rearrange it.
I love it. I love it. So good. Oh, I love that so much.
Can I just say this one thing?
Yeah.
You know, everybody say a win is a win, right? Sometimes you have wins and you don't even know that you're having wins. Like being in this, I realized I was winning in other areas. When I was focused on my money's not where it is, I was ignoring all the other wins I was getting. Like I'm getting wins all the time. We're winning all the time. Are you breathing? You're winning. Some people not even breathing like that. Like I'm outside. Some people don't even have a porch. A win is a win. Like look at the wins that you have and check them off. Write them down. Remember it. And in due season, the wins will get bigger. That was your due season.
Yes. Yes. In due season. I remember. I love that. Because gratitude is just a wealthy habit, right? And the more that you can express gratitude, the more you also are showing that you're living life from a place of abundance and not scarcity. So scarcity would have you believe that the only thing that matters is your money goals. The only thing that matters is whether, you hit, some financial target or, oh, I make this much now. But how many people hit those targets and they're still miserable in so many other parts of their lives? So that can't be the ultimate and only win. You have to be able to see, right? And acknowledge and celebrate when other things are being honored. And I love that you talked about drinking your water now. Amen. Yeah. I know that's right. I know that's right. I love that you talked about those things because it all raises your vibration. It raises your energy. And when you start to feel better about how you're showing up in one of the other pillars, the natural byproduct is that you're going to attract more. You're going to attract opportunities. You're going to think better. You're going to think more clearly. You're going to have better conversations, right? Because now you're not going into your people pillar, moaning, groaning, complaining,
dry,
being productive, right? Like if we go into every conversation with moaning, groaning, complaining, talking about what we don't want, we don't create any space in our conversation to even talk about opportunities, financial abundance, success, like all the other things. We don't create the space for it. And no one is encouraged to give you any great tips or resources when all you do is complain. Let's keep it real. Mm-hmm. If every time you open your mouth and you come into a space and you're lamenting something, then you actually have the power to change and shift for yourself, but you just keep talking about it. No one's going to be like, hey, I heard of this really great resource. They're just waiting for you to stop talking. They're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then you wonder why. It's true, right? You wonder why you're not having those types of fruitful conversations. So,
Yeah.
so much good stuff. I'm going to bring everybody up just to
Uh-huh.
say, alas, thank you. Look at you, ladies. I just want to say, it doesn't matter to me if you only heard of me in this year or in the last year or so, or if you were lurking or stalking on the podcast for like 2 or 3 years, or if this was your first time in Pillar Mastery or your second time, or it won't be your last time in Pillar Mastery, whatever. And this is for everyone who is here that is graduating with this cohort. I just want to tell you guys again from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you so much for being in this space with us. I appreciate you for trusting that I could hold a safe space for you to be vulnerable, for you to be radically honest, for you to tell the truth, the good, the bad, and none of it is really ugly. It just is what it is. But for you to just allow us to love on you, and also for the way you each all loved on us through your stories. Tina sometime would be at work, honey, but she would still come off and give us a word. Okay. She was committed. I love the commitment of this cohort, not just to showing up on the calls, but to actually doing the work, and then to being vulnerable enough to share what was working and what wasn't. And I'm just so grateful that whatever you heard me say, or I don't know, whatever you saw, whatever it was, that God saw fit to bring us together for such a time as this. And like Tina said, I really pray that this is not just some program that you went through, but that this is an opportunity for you to use these pillars to help you process life as you move forward. I just pray that, just like it is for me, that this just is a part of your life. It is the way that you live your life. It is the way that you always come back into alignment, check yourself to make sure that you're not just in balance, but in harmony, to make sure that you're actually telling the truth to yourself and others. Like, I just pray that this experience was truly as transformational as I imagined it to be when God put it on my heart in January of this year. Because like I said in the beginning, January 1st, 2023, I had no idea that Pillar Mastery would become a thing. I had no idea. I had no intention of launching this as a thing. I woke up at 4 something in the morning, and Holy Spirit said, do this thing. I didn't talk to my team. I made the page myself. I made all the little things myself. I recorded the video in the hotel I was in Dallas. And I had no idea that 80 or so women later, so many people would say, this is what I need in this season, and have, and have the faith that this could be something that will bless them on their journey. So I just thank you, because you're the physical faces I can see now, but I extend this to everyone who's gone through this cohort, and everyone who's gone through all 3 cohorts this year. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Tina, did you want to say something?
Yeah. A lot of programs always tell you what to do. Like, they always say what to do, what to do, what to do, but they never really tell you how to do it. And I feel like this is how you do it. Everybody tells you what to do. Do this, do this, do this. But how do I do it and still be a whole person, and still exist, and still be comfortable, and not be stressed, and still talk to my family if I want to? Like, how to do it. And that is what I love. This is the how. I remember growing up in church, do this, do this, do this. You got to just do this. And I'm like, do you sit down at home? How? There was never a how. This is the how to do it. And I'm like, thank you for the how. Because they weren't telling us nothing, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think the thing that makes me the most happy in these spaces is that everyone gets what they need. So, in addition to like not just saying what the what is, it's also coming into the awareness that no one can really tell you. You have to learn to trust yourself. And a big piece of what I think has come out of this cohort in particular is that more of you learn to like really lean into your own intuition and not value my information over your own intuition. So with each pillar, you all went off and did something different, but you did what your soul needed for your journey. And that's really important. to me. It's important to me that you not become little clones of me, because that's not what I want at all, but that you become the best version of you in this season. Yeah. Anybody else just want to share any last thoughts?
I think the thing that I've gotten most out of this is that knowing my purpose gives me some peace, and I feel like my soul is satisfied.
Oh, that's so good.
That's good.
My soul is satisfied. Yes. Thank you.
And I'd just like to say that the sisters in this group are everything. And even when you think that somebody's not watching you, they're watching you. I got something from every question you asked, every joke, every feeling that you let us see. I got something from everybody. And I have learned in this group not to live with a spirit of scarcity. That God is going to give you everything you need when you need it. Just relax. So, and I want to thank you, Patrice. This space that you created for us is just, it's everything. It's everything. You say it's not just a safe space, and it's not, but for me, that was what I needed. And it was everything. So I want to thank you for that, for being obedient, because one of the things I thought about you is your obedience facilitated mine. So I thank you for that.
My honor. It's my honor. It's my pleasure. It is my joy. Thank you guys again for trusting me to be in this space. I'm going to say bye for now so I can get through. You know, Coach, we trying to get y'all out during the time I said. So let me honor that. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, I always love an opportunity to hear, from the students, from their perspective. I also just wanted to say that it is impossible for this experience to go the way that it does with just me. It absolutely is not just me. I want to thank some of our alumni from this community who are out in the world doing incredible things in their own right, who came back to pour in as guest expert trainers for this cohort of Pillar Mastery. Gurpreet Kaur, who's all the way in North Ireland, Nicole Roan, and Dr. Patrice Buckner Jackson are all incredible. Nicole Roan is actually joining us as our capacity coach in the Mastery and Momentum Mastermind in this next season. And Dr. Patrice Buckner Jackson has a new book out, or it's coming out very soon. I just saw her do her unveiling on Facebook. I am so incredibly proud of our community and how they continue to come back and say, Coach, how can I serve and how can I support the ladies who are coming behind me? And I'm so grateful to have such a committed and an all-in invested group of women. So thank you to the phenomenal guest expert trainers. Thank you to our alumni ambassadors. Woo! Give them some love in the chat. Another group of incredible women who come back and support. They come back and support every time. Shout out to Tanya Bailey Jones from Lake Charles, Louisiana. She's in the chat today. Sol Marie Santiago, Taisha Andrews, JL Anchor Lagos, and Mariah Newsom. We love them. They have all either gone through Pillar Mastery or Mastery Momentum. They came back, and every other week they hosted integration rooms. We wanted to make sure that as we were taking in the content and the modules each week, that we still created space to actually integrate. And they held rooms that allow people to brainstorm and bond like no other. And so, yes, Crystal, we love you, alumni ambassadors. Thank you guys so much for saying yes and for being such a blessing to this cohort. I also have to thank the Seek Wisdom team. Definitely shout out to Chauncey Reed, who is our program manager. If you've been in any program in the last 4 years, you already know Chauncey Reed holds it down and we love her. Bianca Malone, who helps some of you make the decision to come into Pillar Mastery, as well as Angie. I have to give Angie a shout out, who also volunteered. to support during the enrollment period. Stephanie, who's our operations manager, and Brittany, who's our administrative assistant. Thank you to all of them, because I have been traveling and was planning for Redefining Wealth Live and speaking and filming and doing all of the things, and they make sure that everything continues to move forward. And so I'm so grateful for their support. And a special announcement I wanted to share, because at Redefining Wealth Live, one of the things that we added to, I would say, the way that I now teach and explain redefining wealth is this continuum. This is the continuum of redefining wealth, which really helps you clarify where you are in the redefining wealth journey. And we shared this at Redefining Wealth Live, that you might find yourself in one of three stages. You might be at awakening. And awakening is where you are just first arising from slumber and saying, something in this pillar is not right. I need to do something. I need to make a change, and I'm ready to get off autopilot. And so awakening is about really going through the first stage of just, where do I need to get radically honest? And then you go into redefining. Redefining is now the second piece of redefining wealth. And it's about understanding and being radically honest about what you truly desire. So first, you're radically honest about what's not working, but then you have to get radically honest about what you really want. If you didn't think that people would talk about you, have an opinion, if you weren't looking for the validation and affirmation of others in order to take your next best step, what would you genuinely desire? That's redefining. And then last is actualizing. Like I said to Shirley's one of those people who, once she knew what it was and redefined or refined what she wanted for herself, she was so good about actualizing. What is the step I need to go and take? How will I make this a reality? That is the framework that we now work from at Redefining Wealth. Again, it was introduced more so at Redefining Wealth Live, and it's been informing how we move through not just pillar mastery, but mastery and momentum. And I just want to share that for those of you who are have been around, but you haven't been listening, intently, most recently, or you're new to Redefining Wealth. More of what you see from my work will really be breaking down these three stages for how you can redefine wealth for yourself. And so also at Redefining Wealth Live, we launched the Institute for Redefining Wealth. I'm super excited about this platform and what I believe it will contribute to the personal finance space, because I believe that there's no way to truly take your personal finances to the next level while ignoring personal development. We want to be whole beings, right? We have so many more dimensions to us, and being people who are only driven by money and only want to focus on our work really cuts off the beauty of all of who God has created us to be. And so the Institute for Redefining Wealth, you will be hearing more about, but this is the good part I really, really, really wanted to get to. I'm not that. The Redefining Wealth app is coming. Woo! I'm so excited. This is, I realized that the first time that I thought about the Redefining Wealth app as a concept was 4 years ago. And I am so excited to share with you all that whether you are an official paid member of the Institute, or you are consider yourself a purpose chaser because you've been listening to the Redefining Wealth podcast, the Redefining Wealth app is going to be our new home in the new year. So just make sure that you are on the lookout for it. The podcast episodes will be shared there. The weekly wisdom and wealth affirmations will be shared there. Like all the things, Patrice Washington will be shared there, including whenever I do any quarterly trainings or virtual events, or even launch a virtual ticket for Redefining Wealth Live in 2024, you will be able to access and experience all those things on the app. So I just wanted to thank you for being here and give you that tidbit that I'm really, really excited about finally having this app, being able to manage all of my groups, all of my people in one place. And just having like an experience that doesn't allow the algorithms and what Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or anyone feels like doing to prevent me from getting to y'all. Like that's the real thing for me, is me being able to share with you uninhibited And then also you being able to be in community with one another and have your own DM access to each other and your own group chats within the community and all of those things all in one place. So I'm super excited. The team and I are feverishly working on the Redefining Wealth app, and I suspect I'll be able to invite you all in at the first of the year. So keep us in prayer because it is a lot of work. But keep us in prayer. We are so super excited about it. I really, really, really look forward to it. I really look forward to not being a slave to Instagram's algorithm. I just don't want to play these games that are played out there. I just want to be able to do good work, deliver good content, go live, and have the experiences that I want to have with my community. And that also will include us having an opportunity to meet up live in person more in the new year. So as I travel about the country speaking, folks in the app will be the first to know where we'll host our Purpose Chaser pop-ups. So all over the country. I'm really, really excited about that. So yeah, keep us in prayer. For your dream is coming true. Thank you. I'm super excited. I'm super excited about it. And I hope it's a blessing to all of us, because my heart is really to bring us all together so that you know that you are always supported, that there is nothing that you're experiencing that one of us has not experienced, right? There's nothing new under the sun. And I think a lot of times when we are going through life, when life is lifing, sometimes we are tempted to believe that it's just us. And I want to create a space where you can show up authentically and share and feel safe and feel brave and feel encouraged and feel loved on and seen and heard and all those things, and just know that you're good, right? I genuinely desire to create a space like that. And so I'm doing it finally. So praise the Lord. Super excited. And last, I just want to say again, a big, big, big congratulations to each and every one of you who have gone through this cohort of Pillar Mastery and all the cohorts of Pillar Mastery. I believe that you are just on your way to next level purpose, to the peace that you desire with how you walk out your purpose in this world. I believe that it takes radical honesty, which you have all demonstrated, and it takes relentless surrender, which you have all demonstrated, to unlock next level purpose. And I am so grateful to be able to host a space for you to do this work. I look forward to being able to continue to do this work with you in the Institute for Redefining Wealth and beyond. And just because this cohort is over doesn't mean you just get rid of me that easy. Once I'm a coach, I'm your coach for life. It just is what it is. I'm always going to be your coach for life. I'm always going to be in your business. No, I'm kidding. But I always look forward to being able to celebrate you, to hold space for you, to encourage and just be a part of whatever is next for you. And I just look forward to seeing how it all pans out. This was just the beginning. There's so much more up ahead. And I'm so, so, so incredibly proud of each of you. To Ms. Wanda, to Tina, and to Ms. Shirley, thank you guys so much for representing your cohort so well. It has been my honor and pleasure to serve and support you all during this time. And again, to my team, to the guest experts, and to our ambassadors, I am so incredibly grateful for your continued love and support. There's no way that any of this would happen without you guys. And I just feel really blessed that you believe in the vision and that you believe in how we serve people in the world. And to everyone else, if you were just brought here by happenstance, Pillar Mastery will be available again in the Institute for Redefining Wealth. So just make sure you stay connected. You can go to patricewashington.com and check out the pillars and what we're up to in the world. And if this sounds like something that you would desire to do in the future, I definitely want to invite you to check it out and just be on the lookout. So when the Institute opens officially with the app, we will definitely be inviting you to take part. And my very last announcement is be on the lookout. We have a new training. It's an oldie but goodie it's a twist though. Results Not Resolutions is coming up in December. I'm super excited. It will be a 2-day training where I am teaching you how to set your life up for 2024 by the pillars, and sharing with you some of my best practices for getting more done in 90 days than most people will get done in a year, but doing it with as much ease and grace and peace as possible, because we're clearing the clutter on all the fluff and the things that don't really matter. So Results Not Resolutions is coming. Be on the lookout for that. Again, make sure you're on the email list so you can get notified about it. And that's it. That's it for me. Thank you guys so much. Love you, appreciate you, and hope you continue to have a beautiful weekend. Have a happy Thanksgiving season for those of you who are in the US. And for everyone, I want you to go live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and continue to earn more without feeling like you have to chase money. I'll talk to you guys later. Be blessed. Bye-bye.